Hello all and welcome to the Mug Life DIY. I am Julia and I am so glad you decided to check out my channel, and let's get right into it. So project one is going to be taking 3 of these Dollar Tree arches, and hopefully you guys can find them. I have been finding them in all of my stores and I just immediately knew I wanted to make a more sturdy, heavy-duty archway that I have seen everywhere. So first, I just kind of started experimenting. I wanted to see how hard it would actually be to take off the welcome part. So these first 2 signs, I kind of just took my blow dryer and had high heat going, and I maneuvered and wiggled, but it still started cracking. So I wasn't able to finesse it as much as I wanted because I was actually hoping to reuse that little welcome sign on another piece, but you live and you keep going. I don't know what kind of super glue they were using, but it stuck, y'all. So if you're wanting to do this project, you might want maybe some gloves or something, because this little flimsy wood definitely frayed and got kind of everywhere. So I just used my little scraping tool and I had to sand down some pieces, and I did have to stop a couple times to get itty bitty little splinters out of my fingers, but it was a process. So I ultimately did end up deciding to just kind of roughly sand and get the best off that I could with this first little archway, and decided to glue using the back as the front, if that makes sense. Now, if you want to do this project, definitely it's going to take a little bit of time because I am going to be using wood glue, but I really feel like it gives a better adherence, like hold, stability. That is what I was going for. I wanted this piece to have that sturdy thickness that really is something you would find at like Kirkland's or some other high-end store. So that's why I originally was hoping to take off all of the welcome signs, but I didn't really want to mess up the front, that kind of natural wood. So we're only going to take off the welcome sign on 2 of the signs. Now the second sign, it was a little bit slower, and I did get most of it off with pulling and twisting and really melting that glue, which took quite some temperature. Now, I was just using my blow dryer. I still need to find my heat gun, but using the high heat is the way that I got most of it off. Now, after I pulled off all that I could using my blow dryer, then I went to my scraping tool and scraped the final little bits and pieces off. And a little side note that I just thought of, this particular sign at Dollar Tree, I believe it came in 3 different colors, or maybe they had different phrases. Like one might have said home, or I just feel like I remember seeing them in different colors. So I'm going to have to try to look next time I go to Dollar Tree and take some pictures for you guys and post them on my Instagram so that you can see the different options of these really cute signs. So after I completely scraped it and sanded it down, that's when we're going to begin the wood glue process. Now, this is my favorite wood glue that I always use. It's the Tight Bond. I've used other wood glues, but I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like this wood glue dries fairly fast. I don't tend to use like a lot, but I think it's still a good coverage. I went around every single part of the archway and then I rubbed it in, kind of spreading it out evenly just with my fingers. If you had a sponge or something else that you'd want to use, or washcloth, that would work as well, but I'm just super quick and lazy with my crafts, y'all. So I pushed it together, and then I'm going to get all of my crafting clamps, which some of them are from Dollar Tree, and I have mentioned before, the rest of them are from, oh gosh, my husband loves this store, Harbor Freight. Now, whenever he goes in there, I always tend to look for crafting supplies, and this is what I found and absolutely love using. Now, once I let that completely dry, then all you have to do is just pull the clamps and back off. Now, as I had kind of mentioned, my little scraping tool, it works so great. And I was able to completely get off all of those little extra bits and pieces off, and I needed that completely flat surface so that when I glue the last piece to it, that it has a nice and even distribution of the glue. And you're going to repeat the same process to the final part of our little window. Also, side note, it is not shown here in the video, not quite sure what happened to the video clip, but I used my favorite wood filler and filled all of the side edge pieces all around inside the window and completely pushed in my wood filler to cover up all of those cracks to make it look like a thicker piece of single wood pane window. Now, in most of my crafts, I always just kind of keep going and overdo it. I have been simplifying my crafts and really just streamlining their overall look and aesthetic. And I feel like even at higher end stores, you tend to see less on the decorations. But if you prefer having more elaborate bows and ribbons and things like that, go with whatever style you love, whatever makes you happy. So I wanted just kind of a natural greenery, really pretty simple element. So I just took some Dolalr Tree greenery and placed it right at the top side of my sign. And I wanted to give you guys a fun little heads up that I am hosting a Craft Your Stash in 2 parts. This collab is going to be so much fun. I hope you guys will be excited as I am with all of these amazingly talented DIY ladies. And that is going to be this Friday, April 6th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So stay tuned. I will be posting some fun sneak peeks of that collab coming soon. All right, we're going to jump right into project 2. Now this one, I feel like I have a little bit of a both love-hate relationship with these little signs. Now, y'all know I have absolutely adored, loved, just raved on and on about the Dolalr Tree's, what are these called? Rub-on transfers. Now, I saw these and definitely thought of my 2 boys. I have been adding a fun little decorative wall to the room. So I thought these would work out well for me to place in their room. So in one of the packages, it comes with 2 of the rub-on transfers. And I already had these little metal picture frames also from the Dolalr Tree, and I thought the metal and the wood and the really fun colors on the rub-on transfers would work out well. You shall see. I'm not quite sure. Everything kind of just went wrong from there, but I tried to place my ribbon down at the bottom because it reminded me of, car tracks or bike tracks, kind of that look. And I guess I waited too long. My hot glue, it totally dried. So I was aggravated at this point that I already was like struggling. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to try to place it inside, and I don't know what happens. So here we're going for our first one. This one, I said time to explore. And hey, like I said, it started off great. Rubbing, I was like, oh, it's great. I love the contrast. This green is really fun. My boys are going to love it. And I did all the same things. I am rubbing, pushing, thought it was going to transfer really easily, and not quite sure what happened. Right in the middle of, I think it's like the mountain or something like that, there is a bubble. And as I said, I just got so frustrated with that one. I'm like, okay, this second project, it's going to be better. It's, and it just kept getting worse. So it didn't even pull off from the backing plastic. As you can see, the part of the mountain completely came off from the plastic. And I was like, no, you have to stay. And I kept trying to rub and save it. And then once I placed it down, I was like, it's fine. It's not that bad. I noticed the A. Yes. So it doesn't say yes to new adventure. It's like SUY now. I'm going to have to go back and add like a Sharpie or something to fill in that A. I don't know. What do you guys think I should do? Like at this point, I was just so determined just to finish it. Like, I was frustrated, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's in my boys' room. You know, it's on the wall. It's okay. It's fine. And that's what I left at. Now, I struggled with the first one. When I hot glued it to the metal, it somehow dried really fast. And then I saw the lumps on the metal, and I wasn't a fan of that. So with the second frame, I glued to the actual outsides of the frame with my little ribbon. As I said, it kind of just reminded me of tire tracks or a road, just something like that. So that's why I really liked this ribbon. And I just wanted it to, at this point, I just wanted this project to be over. But, you know, your girl, she persevered. I kept pushing and I kept finished. So that's how that project ended up. All right, project 3. Now, I feel like I have told you guys many times, I have been slowly unpacking some boxes that I literally shoved up in my attic of Dolalr Tree and crafting supplies. And this year, I am super determined to craft with my items I already have and try not to buy new things. Yes, it is so difficult. It is so hard to actually finish the projects that I had wanted to do. So that is what this project is. I drew out this sketch so long ago, and I am just so mad at myself that it has taken me this long to do. So I'm taking 2 of the little Dolalr Tree bookends and I am wood gluing them together. I want it to be a thicker bookend. I hope that makes sense. So I used my Titebond, glued it. I did let it set, I believe whatever time on the glue bottle it says. I can't remember if it's 30 minutes to an hour for it to activate, but it's super great. Then I just started using my wood filler and filled in all of the holes and the cracks. Now, originally I was thinking of leaving it as this natural wood, but as I typically do, I change directions while I'm crafting. So this is why I originally had used the wood filler on the front part, because I was like, oh, I'm totally going to craft and it's going to be beautiful. But I did end up going a complete different direction. So I filled in all the holes. It's great. It's wonderful. And then I sanded all of the excess off. Then I grabbed some of this wallpaper that I had left over in my drawer, and I was like, oh, that's like the perfect size. So then I just cut it out, and as you know, I am the worst at measuring. So yes, I didn't have to adjust it. Yes, measuring skills is not my forte. I don't know why I can't cut or measure in a straight line. So there's that. This is probably the best that I have actually cut and measured. So proud of myself, you know. So I went ahead and cut out my Dolalr Tree wallpaper to the size. Now this is that blue, really fun, kind of a coastal vibe, which I love, especially in the spring and the summer, but I do keep up pretty much all year round. And I just placed it on my little bookend. Then I'm going to take my Waverly chalk paint, which is a very similar color combination with the wallpaper. And I painted all of the sides, and I also painted the back side because, you know, if I don't have a book that is quite as tall, I wanted to make sure that every single part of this little bookend looked finished and complete. Now, in my unpacking, I found this little glass jar that I've used last year for a Valentine's DIY and love this ribbon. And I just wanted to kind of upcycle it and reuse it in some new and current decor. So I took off the little metal heart that I had on the front side and glued the back and the side, and I'm going to glue that to my little bookend. And this was definitely a heavy-duty little glass votive, so it definitely had some weight and it helped weigh down our bookend, which is what I want in order to do the next step. I added originally just a few white rocks to the bottom to cover up the little bottom tag, which would not come off, but I did end up adding a lot more of my white rocks to the bottom, and it made it a lot more sturdy and heavy duty. So added those rocks and then added some fun greenery to the top, and this little DIY bookend is done. Now, our final fourth project is taking inspiration from my friend Lisa. I talk about her all the time, and I actually have begun introducing her to my other friends as, oh, this is my crafty friend. So hopefully you guys all have a crafty friend. If not, I will totally be your craft friend. So she made these adorable little signs, and I told her immediately when I saw it, I wanted to make my own. I thought they were so fun and so easy, and these supplies I have been seeing everywhere at Dollar Tree, so I know you'll be able to find them. So I'm taking one of the circle little wooden plaques, a round beaded garland, and some random greenery I have laying around the house. Finding in your stash just different greenery and pieces you have. I am going to be using this Dollar Tree wooden family sign, and then I randomly decided, it's too much of the bland coloring of the wood, that natural vibe. Sometimes I love it, sometimes apparently today I am hating it. So I'm taking that same Waverly chalk paint that I painted the bookend, and I'm going to be painting the wooden family sign all around the edges, just the whole thing. Then I'm going to dry brush with my white acrylic paint, just to kind of accent the family piece. I thought I wanted it to kind of blend a little bit better with that natural, not be so much of a stark difference. So once you're completely done dry brushing, you are going to begin the gluing down process. So as I said, we're going to cover up that top section. So I just kind of meticulously put glue at different places that I know it's going to be touching, and just arrange the greenery until I am completely happy with it. And as I already mentioned, all of these project pieces are about 95%, if not more, Dollar Tree items. So a lot of my craft stash is primarily Dollar Tree. Sometimes I have some greenery and other odds and ends from Walmart or the thrift store, but if you see something that you don't recognize, just be sure to comment. Let me know if you're wondering where a specific item is from, or you can always message me on Instagram, and I get back a little bit faster on Instagram than I do on my YouTube channel. So that is definitely an option for you as well. But I just wanted to also thank you guys so much. I just hit 6,000 subscribers. I am just so stoked and excited about my channel and my growth, and I just really, truly appreciate and love every single one of you. I love doing what I do. I love having fun. This is just my passion. I love crafting, and I love sharing my projects with you guys. So hopefully that translates over to you, and that's it for that. So stay tuned for my awesome collab that I am hosting on Friday at 6 p.m. But here are all of the finished projects styled around my house. I absolutely adore this first project. I think this is my favorite, but I really do like the other ones as well. It's always a toss-up because I change my mind so often when I am decorating my home, and whatever just kind of floats my boat at the time and whatever makes me happy. So it's definitely varied from time to time of I want color, I want brightness, oh no, I want more neutral. So having a little bit of variety in crafting and recycling and reusing items of things I've made is definitely a way I can make all of my projects more budget friendly for my home and with you guys. So let me know which one's your favorite project. I know my kids absolutely love this. My husband even tried to make me feel better. It's like, oh, I totally thought you bought those. Even though I see the mistakes, not everybody will notice. Even if you mess up, just keep going, crafting, have fun. And that's what it's really about. If you enjoy it, if you enjoy making things for your home or giving these away as gifts, that's what matters. Having fun along the way and sharing the journey and the love with someone else is even better. And here's our final project. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, got tons of inspiration, and I will see all of you guys on Friday at 6 p.m. Until next time.